YouTube, what's going on? Cat here checking in with another video. Today we got the untold story of Lucki. We did a lot of Lucki videos, a lot of untold stories about Lucki, things of that nature. But if this is anything like the last video or the last couple Lucki videos, you're gonna turn it off type shit. But just gonna get into it.
A rapper Juice WRLD called the GOAT, who was childhood friends with Chance the Rapper and almost a part of Chief Keef's Glow Gang. In a bittersweet way, Lucki was nicknamed the Underground King after garnering a diehard fanbase in the underground after failing to reach the heights his Chicago peers reached. But recently, the tides have shifted, and Lucki has been making serious strides towards the mainstream, getting cosigns from rappers like Drake, Future, and even Justin Timberlake, blowing up on TikTok, and is more popular.
Justin Timberlake? What?
Signs from rappers like Drake,
Future,
and even Justin Timberlake, blowing up.
What the fuck is Justin Timberlake doing in this shit?
Up on TikTok and is more popular than ever before, begging the question, who is he? How did he get so popular? And what is it about him that resonates so deeply with his legion of fans? I'm Rashad Fashir, and this is the untold story of Lucki. On May 30th, 1996, Lucki Campbell Jr. was born. Almost from birth, his parents were separated, and they lived very differently, his mom being from the hood and his dad from the suburbs. So he grew up with both parents.
Mom from the trenches? Dad from West Bubba? Bro, how the fuck did they even meet? Probably on some passing by type shit.
Lucki grew up on the west side of Chicago, and as a kid he used to play video games and watch television like the WWE. Music was a huge part of his life as well. His first favorite rapper was 50 Cent, then he became a huge Lil Wayne fan, and in high school he found
Teamwork lights you up. With Asana, many hands coordinate across many different types of teams, keeping tiny tasks and big light bulb moments on track and on time, so your team can light up the world. Try Asana.
On other music, like Future, through his mom, and became a Chief Keef stan. Like,
bruh, did Shawty just say that he got on a feature by Mom Dukes? Yeah, Mom Dukes really is in the trenches. Yeah, in the trenches, relax.
Like many teenagers, his taste in music influenced his lifestyle as well. Listening to Lil Wayne made him want to wear skinny jeans, and listening to Chief Keef made him try Xanax. He thought that was really cool, and as a teen, he was exactly who he wanted to be. He remembers thinking,
I remember being 18 looking at myself like, yo, I'm exactly who I want to be. Like, I always wanted to be like a teenager on type shit in a weird way.
Hey, you know what's so crazy, bruh? Hey, y'all know what's so crazy, bruh? That was like us, like me and my niggas, like the cool kids, like the teenagers on drugs. Like, I ran with that surprisingly, because y'all know I don't smoke or drink. Hold on, y'all. You know, I don't smoke or drink, so I just ran around the niggas that smoked and drank because they just wanted the niggas that was smoking and drinking. Nigga, we all rapped. We all was in the fashion. Like, we all like contributed to each other's whatever we had going on. You feel me? Oh man, we throwing a warehouse party. Shit. You know who pulling up? Like, nigga, we rolled out, had like fucking 500 people in the warehouse. 1,000 people in the warehouse. Shows. Like, underground shows and shit like that. Like, bro, that shit was real out of the wave. Like, so I definitely get with, majority of this shit come from like when I see like kids that just be on some like stand alone rebellious type shit. I think it's like y'all know who Mac Miller is. Of course y'all know who Mac Miller is, but he got a mixtape called Kids, but he got that from the actual Kids movie. In the Kids movie, it was just like kids, skater kids, biker kids, doing their own thing. You know what I mean? Like, bruh, I think if people know me, like, they know, like, that's, y'all go to my Instagram down there, like, bruh, They be like, damn, son, you just like a skater. Like, nigga, that shit had always been in me. Like, you had to be there, nigga. Like, for real. But, nah, but so even if we're going on Chicago wave, like, we going on Chicago wave, like, you got people like, speaking of the Lucki situation, you got Lucki, you got the Chance the Rappers, you got the Mick Jenkins, the No Name Gypsies, the Save Money, like the Joey Purples, the Fashion Kids. I call them the Fashion Kids. Like, you could just spot like a group of niggas, like that's their thing. Like, Our Future was that, ASAP Mob was that, like, just some young niggas just mobbing out, doing their own thing, like, in the high end fashion. We're gonna match the Rickies with the whatever streetwear it is at the time. You feel me? Like, we gonna do shit like that. Like, that shit was really, bruh.
At that age, he already had dreams of rapping.
I had big dreams of rap since I was a kid. Cause I used to like walk past a mirror, act like mirrors is paparazzi and shit. When I was like, I always wanted to be a rapper.
In 7th grade, he wrote his first lyrics, but wasn't confident at the time, so he didn't start rapping. He attended school in the suburbs and wanted to be a football player, playing wide receiver. As a teenager, he was also very early on his social media, starting his Twitter in August of 2011, and was rebellious. On his Twitter, he explained his mom kicked him out, and he was airing out his father.
How did you decide that you wanted to start making music?
Moms kicked this nigga out. Moms let this nigga listen to Future. Moms met a nigga from the suburb. Like, moms is just yeah, he had a real treacherous story.
What kind of influenced that?
My parents, really.
His parents did more than just vaguely influence him, though. His dad gave him the courage to begin.
My dad kind of told me to start writing.
In Lucki's freshman year of high school, he was getting over his student athlete thing, where he played wide receiver. So at the end of Lucki's freshman year in high school, he began rapping, and took it seriously after his close friends started praising him. Back then, rap was just about rhymes and bars, not the beat or autotune, and Lucki managed to stand out. So at 17, in his second year, Lucki dropped out of high school to pursue music. His first name ever was 97, and Pretty Ho Smoking Reggie was his first song ever. In 2012, he changed it to Lucky X, a combination of his first name and the last syllable of the substance Xanax. He had a $sign because he was a huge Rocky fan. Under his new name,
That's
his
crazy.
first song was Master Plan. And in addition to dropping that song, Lucki was also a part of a rap group called the Outsiders Clique, and featured all over their only album, Outside Activities. Lucki happened to be friends with two kids named Anton and Kevin, who interned at the media company Elevator, who got Lucki's music heard by the higher ups, which led to Lucki's quote.
So Elevator. So he brought up Elevator. Elevator is like, at that time, like, it put on like the real talent. Like, it's a Chicago-based media group, and they just found like some of the best talent. Like, if you got your video on Elevator at the time, like, they shot your shit. Like, you had the Herbs, the Bibbies that was on there, like, at the beginning. Like, the Herbs, the Bibbies. You had the Tinks, the Dreezys, the motherfucking, the Save Money clique. Like you had what's the nigga name that's really dope? Well, he had that one song. It was produced by Brent Rambo. Damn, y'all know it's like the beat kind of like simple though. It's like Speed Racer. I think it's called Speed Racer. Yeah, I think it's called Speed Racer. Damn, I forgot the artist's name. I think his shit was on there too. No, his shit wasn't this shit shot by? No, that shit wasn't on there. His shit was shot by Cole Dennett. I believe so. But nah, like, Elevator, like, bro, you got your shit on Elevator, bro. And if you was fucking with like Chance the Rapper at the time, cause Chance, that little, I'm not gonna say Chance was like the leader, but like that whole circle, like everybody from that whole circle did something musically and really like kind of made their own little name type shit.
Quote, debut single, Untouchable, being hosted on Elevator, a decently sized platform at the time. He was making moves, and for him to be so young and making that much of a statement was rare. And to many, it seemed like Lucki was headed for success. In 2014, Lucki got more involved in the scene in Chicago. He was very active in person, so early on in his career, he had a lot of connections, allowing him to gain massive exposure right from the jump. He was friends with Chance the Rapper and had a big time manager. Lucki and Chance the Rapper especially had a strong bond. He described their friendship by saying,
how's your relationship with Chance? Because I know you guys got a song together.
That's my dog, bro. Like, for life, bro. That's my dog. Me and Chance, like, I came up with Chance.
Right.
Me and Chance really, like, know each other. I know Chance's little brother. Like,
oh,
man,
okay.
I know Chance's father, bro. Mr. Ben. Me and Chance's father has been cool, been date, like on a date.
When Lucki first started rapping, it was Chief.
Hey, you know what's so crazy though? Like Chance, I think like his dad or like mom, is in politics or something like that, or still is in politics, cause like they live like near Obama or some shit. So that's just dope as shit.
Mixed with Chance, and he took a lot of inspiration from Chance. They originally met at a local venue and used to see each other around. One day,
what artist really made me want to start rapping was Chance though, because I used to see him rapping like at the library. That's what really made me start writing all the time.
That day when he saw Chance at the library do stand-up poetry, he got so inspired, he went back home and immediately started writing music. At the time, Odd Future and A$AP Rocky were a huge influence for Lucki as well. This was when he was first starting to rap, and he had no idea what he was doing, explaining he had no plan and that he'd just go up to the Chicago Public Library, where he saw people like Chance the Rapper and Vic Mensa, and thought if he just
like bro, all that saved money, like, bro, that whole little collective was just dope as shit. Like, my favorite was like Joey Perp. His first project, like, bro, the Purple Tape, that nigga was so fucking dope. But I guess, you know, being around the artists that he was around, because they're the type of artists that, like, push creativity. Like, they trying to, like, raise the boundaries of music. So I get it, but it's like, bruh, that first tape don't sound nothing like the shit that he do now. That first tape was incredible.
Knew a lot of people, you get famous, like he saw with his friend Chance. However, at the time, he had no idea why he was seeing success. Later, he realized,
really, I was just good at telling stories. Like, that's what it was. I was just good at writing stories, and like, I didn't really even know that at the time, but like people came back, like started telling me about.
With the success of so many others around him, Lucki was ready to take over and was willing to work for it.
Like I'm coming, like we are really coming. Like we working hard as hell. Like
teasing music with his peers.
Like shout out to my big brother Chief Keef from Glow Gang. You know, you already know he just gave me that shot. He just gave me some more fans. I got a song with Chance finna drop soon.
That year, he was ready to drop X, his largest project, and was leveling up.
I mean, I did FaceTime Keith. So about we just looking at each other like, are you serious? Keith on the phone. We like 17.
At one point,
the Chief Keef, he said at one point on Instagram that you were on Glow Gang.
With NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube, you can watch your favorite teams out at market games, no matter where you live.
I didn't know he was on.
So you don't have to change teams.
Or even have some type of, I mean, I watched these type of videos, but like, I never heard no music from that.
Wake up, Achievers.
I just got on Lucki. I always seen him, but I never clicked on this shit.
Did that really happen?
And then I randomly like clicked on. Why wouldn't he? Got it out the mud, so I put like I think I told y'all that story. Like it randomly popped up in my recommended. I didn't even react to it or nothing, but man, I played that junk, bro. That shit is incredible. And I've been bumping that shit. Like that was when I was bumping that shit heavy, and then then on my playlist, it randomly played randomly Abandon Me. Like bro, that shit came on. That shit was dope. But then like that new drink was crazy. Like he just dropped that like recently. That new drink was crazy, man. But Shawty dope as shit. Like. He's dope. He incredible.
When Lucki met Young Chop, Keef's producer, he fanned out.
Before I made Alternative Trap, like we was studying y'all,
So Chief Keef and Lucki collaborated as well on an unreleased song. In May of 2016, Lucki dropped X, and it didn't go the way he wanted.
I wanted it to be the breakout.
But when it didn't do as well as he thought, and not getting named on Complex's top 50 projects of the year, he became really depressed. Pretty silly because he was so new to rap. In July of that year, Lucki got arrested for stealing someone's wallet.
Nah, but you gotta look at it though. Like, if you're not a musician, bro, the time that we put it, cause I'm a musician, if y'all don't know. But the time that we put into the music, like when you really want to be great, like you give your all, you put your all into your projects. Like you ain't just record music and just like putting all throwaways together. You feel me? Like when you actually say this is gonna be my next project, and you sit down and you map out every song, like you make every line count, cause you listening to other artists that's dropping, and they what they're doing, they're breaking down their creative process as far as, oh, you know, like I made every line count. Like I watch artists, like not artists, but I watch like interviews or podcasts, and like artists be like saying like, you know, this project right here, like woo, I made every line count. Like I really like locked in like XYZ. You feel me? Like, but.
In 2015, Lucki made the move from Chicago to LA, and it changed the course of his career. In Chicago, he was associated with and working with traditional rappers, like Chance the Rapper, but in LA, he met rappers making cloud rap. He found his sound musically, and realized he wasn't meant for the traditional hip-hop scene.
I was always like not that type of, like in that type of thing, you feel me? I didn't really fit into that, so when I got older, I just started like branching off.
In LA, he became friends with Playboi Carti and A$AP Rocky, which happened through Ian Connor.
You first started linking up with A$AP and all of them?
Through like Ian and Carti type.
When Lucki first came to LA, he lived with Carti, and they were pretty close back then.
Yeah, Carti used to
So how long ago was this?
Before Broke Boy came out, me and Carti used to be like Ian and like we call us twins.
They met at A$AP Rocky's mansion, and through Carti, he met A$AP Rocky.
Me and Carti was both at Rocky mansion. Like he had like a party, you know, people be renting the cribs down there. I met Rocky through Carti.
Lucki met Rocky 3 months after A$AP Yams passed away, and when he met Rocky, Rocky told him,
and he was like, yeah, bro, Yams put me on your music, bro. I'm like, that crushed me though, cause I never got to meet A$AP Yams.
Lucki's actually in the Lamborghini High music video.
Yams, I saw you were in the Lamborghini High video.
Yeah.
How did that kind of all come together?
I just woke up at Rocky crib.
His relationship with Carti was more than just...
Hey, I love hearing stories about Yams. Like, the nigga real life right now would have been like top A&R for sure. Like, the artist that like he was discovering, like, bro, Shorty would have been like the top A&R for shit show. For shit show, he would have been the top A&R right now. No holds barred. Like the way this nigga was like just giving niggas their credit, like, bro, like, you're dope. Like, he was telling niggas, yo, you're dope. Hey, whatever I can do, I don't even want no money. I just love the music you make. Like, Shorty was a real stand-up nigga. Like, no ego. The nigga had no fucking ego.
It's the friendship though. They collaborated on songs like Saucin'.
Carti, yeah, like me and Carti got a few songs, like hella songs on release.
And Carti taught him how to rap on a different style of beats.
Like, being around Carti taught me how to rap over trap beats. Remember, I used to make music like Chance the Rapper and them kind of like in that lane. Being around Carti taught me how to rap over like up-tempo beats.
He was friends with Carti's friends Uno the Activist and Thousand Man Fani as well, and ended up collaborating more with them than he did with Carti.
Uno, my brother forever.
Yeah, love Uno.
I need my brother. Everybody, alright with Ian.
Yeah, he's still cool.
Being from Chicago, Lucki also became friends with Cole Bennett before he was famous. They had a music video from 2015 that was released 8 years later, and Cole gave Lucki $100 to model for a Lyrical Lemonade shirt, which Lucki says he remembers he really needed, and said now,
I'll be really just happy for him, but it just makes sense because the type of person he is.
In January of 2016, Lucki decided to drop the X from his name. At first, he just took out the $sign because he didn't want to become like A$AP Rocky.
No more ECK money sign. It's just X. Just X.
But eventually, he claimed the X was just childish, so he dropped it.
To help prevent wet, spotty, or cloudy dishes, use Finish Jet Dry. Start with Finish, finish with Jet Dry.
completely.
Please stop calling me Lucky X.
You're over
and
it.
then y'all be calling me Lucky X.
I just really was over that name.
In March, he dropped Son of Sam, and the cover art is inspired by David Berkowitz, a serial killer. The cover art is one of his letters, and Lucky explained he relates to him.
Vices are demons. My demons are these big, taking on Ray James. Like his fast life, like drugs, you know, that's my little best.
Little did he know, the worst was to come. Lucky's dreadful relationship with substances was no longer figurative like he portrayed in his art. It was real, and in 2016, it almost destroyed his career. Lucky had originally
Some terrible big homies. I was just with them. I popped it down. I just remember feeling so free. I was just overboard. I was like, it's fun.
But by the time Lucky was getting into his late teens, he had started to develop a serious Xanax addiction.
I was a tweaker, bro.
When he was rapping,
It sounds like you're off the Xans in your music. It is often about being on the Xans in your music.
and said he used to do 6 bars a day.
I used to really pop like 6 bars, you know what I'm saying, every day type.
While he was doing this, he had a lot of industry
Hell to the fucking no. Niggas love them bars, bruh. Niggas love them bars, bruh.
connections and hype around his music. For example,
Pharrell used to tweet my music. Like, Scott Venner was my first manager.
Pharrell Williams and Justin Timberlake would tweet Lucky's music, but his drug use was messing that all up.
Oh, so
Williams and
Pharrell, what's on his
Pharrell used to tweet my music. Like, Scott Venner was my first manager.
Pharrell
Pharrell?
Williams and Justin Timberlake would
insane.
tweet Lucky's music, but his drug use was messing that all up.
Oh, so did that fuck your music career up?
How relationships up. Like,
Sometimes he couldn't even tell what was real.
but when I wake up for real again, I realized that I was just dreaming. I realized that like, oh, I was just.
He was too comfortable at that age.
I was getting like decent money for shows in Chicago. I'm just lit. I was kind of comfortable.
And took everything he had been given so graciously for granted.
Yeah, I was really spoiled coming into this.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Okay.
Scott Venner, the man that put Chief Keef and Chance on, was Lucky's first manager. Even after receiving cosigns from Pharrell Williams and Justin Timberlake, Lucky said he didn't even care. It wasn't Lil Wayne. He was young and ignorant, and eventually it bit him in the back. When Lucky was dealing with those issues, some of the people in the industry who were previously backing him turned their backs on him.
They lost faith in me. I'll never forget that, bro. Told me I was the best, bro. They told me I was the best, but they lost faith in me, bro. Tried to blackball me, bro.
It sounds like betrayal, and it was, but it was partly Lucky's fault. He had no idea how to act.
I used to come to like sessions about like and just be up and not even know it was a problem.
Everyone was mad,
But they used to be so irritated. They used to keep calling me back. They know I was young.
but they thought he'd grow up eventually.
But when I turned 19 and I was still doing it, people thought I was like, oh, he's not coming around. He not getting it. Cause people always thought I was just gonna get it. You feel me?
Right.
And then when I was 19, it was like, nah, he just don't get it.
Spoiler alert, he didn't. And like many young kids, had to learn the hard way. Eventually, Lucky's substance abuse led to Lucky becoming hospitalized, and it messed him up bad.
The lowest point in my life. I psyched out for like 4 days straight, and I just had to go to the hospital for like a week. I was tripping. But I wasn't myself, bro.
I was like fragile, like mentally, bro. Like,
Right.
Cause like I really went crazy. You feel me? So I was like,
He used to joke about it.
Bro, that's crazy. Gotta get checked in.
His addiction. He was shameless, but after that, it was no joke.
But I had to just learn how to be my own person, like, and not depend on a pill.
He eventually decided to take a break from music and focus on himself. When he was in the hospital, he became a fan of Kurt Cobain.
This dude, Kurt, I started watching like hella documentaries. I watched all documentaries.
Explaining he related to the themes of self-destruction.
Really relating to self-destruction.
Right. Are you in a period of self-destruction in general, would you say? Or is that something that you feel like you're past?
I feel like I'm always gonna be in a period of self-destruction.
He decided to drop Free Wave 2, but his substance abuse caused him to develop mental health problems and depression, and decided it would be best if he took a year-long hiatus. During the hiatus, he had a son, and his son gave him a sense of priority and made him want to work harder. In 2017, he returned from his hiatus, dropping Watch My Back. Luckily, no pun intended, fans were patient, and he didn't suffer any consequences. In fact, Watch My Back became one of his most successful projects, a fan favorite. Nowadays, Lucky has made it clear
my music is like a warning or something, bro.
Right.
Like, I don't glorify it at all.
another rapper Lucky knew was Juice WRLD, and they were pretty close. And Juice WRLD had a lot of respect for Lucky.
Juice would be like, "This the best rapper ever." Everybody in the room be like,
And you're
"What?"
like-
They're like, "Who the f- is this?" You feel me?
I was disheartened when Juice died.
I really be wishing
he was still here. Cause I know it'll never be a dull moment in if he was still here.
In 2019, Lucki dropped Free Wave 3, a project about a woman he was in love with. The first half was while he was in love, and the second half was him heartbroken. In 2020, Lucki signed a distribution deal with Empire, the same label XXXTentacion and King Von were a part of, allowing him to receive a stronger push to his music, while being able to retain ownership over his music at the same time. He even recorded a song with his longtime idol Future, coming out a couple years later, someone who he remained a huge fan of for years after first finding Future's music on his mom's iPod.
Hey, Future's that nigga, like, remember, y'all not real Future fans. Like, if y'all Future fans are like some shit that he just previously did, like, nah, nigga, I'm Meatball, like 1000, First Dirty Sprite, like this early days, A1, Rocco, like.
Yeah, I just met Pluto, like, it's just crazy seeing this in person, like.
Since 2021, Lucki has become even more ambitious, trying to become a superstar like he said so many years earlier, except it was starting to become a reality. He'd have a slew of songs like Super Urus and New Drink gain traction on TikTok.
Super Urus is like that too. New Drink.
Massively growing his fan base, as well as shedding light to his deep discography. However, it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. His new fan base was suburban and became corny, bullying him for the weight he gained, and fans at shows have rubbed his stomach multiple times, causing quite an issue. Furthermore, Lucki has been under fire for years about some tweets he made years back aimed at the country of Mexico, and his new fanbase didn't make it any easier. He explained himself, saying 11 years ago, Lucki and a bunch of other kids, some black,
Being an NFL fan is the greatest. Unless your home team.
and some Mexican, were all trolling. Everyone was just trolling. Lucki just ended up becoming famous and defended himself, saying, I grew up with Mexicans. In 2022, Lucki briefly fell out with his old friends, Uno the Activist and Thousand Man Fani, and accidentally started beefing with the Detroit rapper he was friends with, Baby Smooth. Lucki called out Baby Smooth for hopping on Yeet beats, except Lucki was talking about Thousand Man Fani. Baby Smooth took it personally and decided to take shots at Lucki himself. It was sad because just a bit before, they were teasing a collab. So Lucki actually called Thousand Man Fani washed up for hopping on Yeet beats. He even defended Cardi for dropping Uno the Activist and Thousand Man Fani during their beef. In the end, Lucki apologized, saying he was in his feelings and he was wrong for what he said, and they made it right. During the middle of the year, Lucki got a Drake co-sign as well.
Real nigga, like, bro, that's a real nigga, bro. Like, that's a real nigga. Like, it take a real man to say, bro, I apologize in public. Like, in public. I apologize in public. And deal with the jokes. Oh, you're weirdo. Oh, you're such and such. Bro, like, nigga, a real man. Like, I'm apologizing. Because, hey, I might have got out of character for something that y'all didn't even need to know about. It's something between me and this man. It's a real nigga, bro.
Drake posted Lucki's music on a story and featured Lucki on OVO Radio. When he was young, Drake was a huge inspiration for him. So having Drake post his music was
So it's really like a dream come true type of thing.
even crediting Drake for teaching him how to rap.
He taught me how to dumb it down, but without dumbing it down, though.
That year, he also got a face tat, inspired by Harry Potter, and said he just wanted one because it was cool, and that his thought process was,
I just wanted a face tat. I was just feeling edgy. Like, I got hella money. It didn't piss my parents off, you know what I'm saying?
In the end of the year, on September, he dropped Flawless Like Me, his long-awaited project, with the feature from Future, and started collaborating and working with younger rappers like Can as well. So that brings us to today, 2023, and Lucki still has a lot of runway left in his career. He's been releasing a project every year since 2013, and it doesn't look like he's stopping anytime soon, even saying he wants to collab with Playboi Carti again.
The artist I'll collab with, but definitely Carti.
And wants a Grammy. He plans to retire when he's in his early 30s to become an executive in television, saying, I want to produce TV documentaries, and known as some type of legend, someone who never sold out. Reminiscing on his younger days, Lucki said, I was listening to Currency, A$AP Rocky, a lot of the people who are legends now.
Currency, man, that's crazy, bruh. I used to love Currency, bro. Like, if y'all don't know, bro, plus y'all don't know, like, bruh, some of my earliest, like, not my earliest music, them capping, like, my earliest music was, but, like, I was real live on, like, a spitter wave, like, real live, like, spitter, Wiz, Big Crit, like that type style of music.
I kind of wanted to be like them. The scene was completely different back then. Time will tell if he reaches the status of those he idolized as a kid, but regardless of whether he does or not, Lucki has left his mark on hip hop, undoubtedly, and definitely has inspired the new generation of rappers. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. See you next time.
YouTube Premium is ad-free
See you on the next
YouTube.
video.
And